Okay, I think we're live. Hi, Zach.
Hello, how we doing?
You know, I'm doing pretty well for Monday. How are you?
It's 5 o'clock. Time to drink. I think we're doing good.
2 o'clock my time. I like that. Like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's
True,
like it's
it
2
is.
o'clock somewhere for me.
Yeah.
Out here on the West Coast.
For me, it is. For you, it is. So.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for our mid-month November Outturn preview tasting. We're excited to talk about a few of these whiskeys today. So it looks like the whole crew's here. Pickly Dude, Daniel Cleric. Hello, you beat Tom. Oh, no, I think Tamar is always first.
He said, nope, I'm here. Don't worry.
Brian is here from Soggy Seattle. Brian, I actually was just thinking about the last time I was in Seattle and we hosted that tasting. We have a whiskey that we're going to be tasting today that actually reminds me of that tasting. So hello in Seattle. Christine's here from Oregon. George, Dale, the whole crew's here. So awesome. Like this feels like, you know, just like
our
friends
little tasting
getting together. I know. I love it.
Can't leave our houses. Hey.
I know. So Kim, hello, my first Outturn live video. Well, welcome, Kim. We are thrilled to have you. We have a pretty awesome group here. So welcome to the madness, so to speak. So, all right. Well, we are going to be unveiling the entire mid-month November Outturn, which will go live tomorrow on our website at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So keep your eyes open on your email. We'll be sending that out for that to go live at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So
we will only be tasting 4 of them, but at the end of our video, as always, now we will be unveiling them all to you so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into tomorrow.
Yes. So there's 6 total for the Outturn tomorrow, and we, like Zach said, we'll be tasting 4 of them. So, and we're actually sticking all within one region today.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, we're not venturing too far out. So I'm excited to kind of hone in on Speyside and have a little fun with it.
Differences here and there. I think one of the fun parts too is actually while we're doing this, we're going to stay in the same region. I think we're going through 4 different cask types as well. So we'll get to kind of see 3 different cask types. Okay. See how each one kind of plays in. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be. We have a little bit of everything today. So with that being said, are you ready to get into this?
I've been ready since about noon.
All right. Well, perfect. And I was just thinking too, we only have 2 more Outturns, 3 more Outturns?
3 more Outturns.
And then it's all over for 2020. So it's kind of like sad a little bit, but I'm excited for hopefully a much better year in 2021. So all right.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to just cruise through and see who else has showed up. Jonathan Hopwood from Chicago. Hello. We have Brett. Isn't pretty much Speyside every Outturn? Yeah, I mean, we do have quite a few Speysides that we release, but
with 50% of all distilleries coming out of Speyside,
right?
Bound to happen a few times.
Yeah, Daniel Clark said, I was really hoping you were ruining Zach's afternoon by being all Isla whiskeys. That would be, I would not do that.
Oh, that's good to know. I appreciate
it. All right, well, let's get this started and start with number 1. I see you're already got your nose in the glass.
Hey, what can I say?
So we're kind of starting out with a bang on this one. Black Label. So up first is cask 115.18. This is called Barley Ballet. I love that name. It is a 29-year Speyside from a refill ex-bourbon barrel. I think this label's so pretty, like with the blue and the black.
And the black. That looks really nice. Yeah.
Right? It's so pretty, and I love the name on this. And this is at 47.1% ABV. So a little bit lower on the ABV, but it is also 29 years old.
Yeah. I've actually been finding myself enjoying lower proof cask strength whiskey lately. I don't know if it still keeps all those fatty acids and those beautiful, wonderful aromas. But it wakes me up. But
this has quite a nose on it.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I read the name first, but I am definitely getting a very large barley forward aroma on this. I mean, like just before my nose was even in the glass, like it was just, I mean, under my nose, I got just like a huge whiff of it.
It's not though. I'll say what I'm not getting is I'm not getting like raw, young barley.
No.
It's like a grain in your face. I feel like, and I mean, this is like a SMWS tasting note almost. I'm getting like overlooking a field of grain of like barley, and it's nothing else but that and blue skies. But it's very crisp and clean and
super crisp.
Oh,
there's like a hay. I mean, like barley hay, like that kind of really grassy, earthy.
It's still on the stalk. It's just like
yeah. The nose on this is really beautiful. Wow. I mean, the color, I feel like
kind of jam going. Nope. Oh, this side. There we go. Nice black. You can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the name just really suits this really well. I mean, it's like very light and delicate looking in color, but the nose I don't find to be delicate. It's a pretty hearty nose.
Yeah.
For 29 years old.
Oh. I definitely jumped ahead. All
right, I'm going in. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna go again.
I took a big sip.
Man.
Whoa.
I'm gonna put a little more in because I actually want to add some water to see what this does. But I'm getting like a big citrus earthiness to it, like more of like lemon.
Yeah, I could see that.
Tart or tangy, but I'm getting like a lemon zesty flavor.
Yeah, it's definitely zesty, but I think that the nose translates really well on the palate here. You definitely still get that like barley forward. I actually think that this kind of reminds me a little bit of like barley tea.
Okay.
If you've ever had like barley tea. Yeah, this is like a cold barley tea with like lemon squeezed into it. Yeah, this is, for 47.1, we're, really used to seeing cask strength whiskeys, in like the high 50s. I mean, we have one today that is, above 65%. Yeah. So, you're definitely used to seeing them at a higher ABV, but I think that this carries really well and really strong at 47.1%. So
I think it carries weight well too. Like it's letting me know it's there, which is always wonderful to see out of something that is coming out of light and delicate or something that's coming with a little bit of age.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that this is pretty robust for being 29 years old and in the light and delicate flavor profile. I think that this is really beautiful. Like this is like one of those whiskeys that
fun.
I don't know. I want to like dress up in like a big fancy ball gown and like go out
armchairs and
yeah for sure, like light a fire. I don't know, I'm in like an old castle and like a library and a big leather chair. Like this really does kind of like set a scene, and this is really beautiful.
I'm even getting I did add some water, probably like 5 or 6 drops, because I did add a little bit more whiskey, but I'm even getting some vanillins now. I think they're coming through. They're getting a little bit of creaminess involved.
Yeah, this is, again, I think that the name suits this just really perfectly. I'm going to read the tasting notes real quick. So it says, a whiskey out of time, neither old nor young. This is a fragrant, complex, and intriguingly delicate dram worthy of your patience. I think that's pretty spot on.
Board with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. I think that it is light and delicate in a way. Like it's not, aggressive or abrupt. It's like it tastes very mature.
Yes.
Like it's been around, it's wise, it's, you know, one that you want to kind of sit back and really listen to. So I think that those tasting notes are really spot on. And I mean, this bottle is beautiful.
Yeah. I think
I mean, it's so beautiful. I know we're not supposed to get caught up on packaging or, you know, be swayed by any of that stuff. But I think that, I mean, just look at it. It's gorgeous.
It's a great color.
It is. And I think the whiskey inside matches it. I'm very happy to be holding this and to have it in my glass. I think that this is definitely a real treat. And it's not often that we see things, you know, especially from this particular distillery at this age. So I think that this is a real treat.
Yeah. I honestly can't say I've ever had anything else from this distillery. I don't know if
really
anything. Yeah.
We had one. I actually purchased it because of where it came from, because I am quite a fan of them. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I have it somewhere. It was like some Bavarian something or other. But it was amazing. So I was very excited to see a 115, especially at this age. I've never had anything like this ever.
I kind of just need to look for it again just to see what else they can do.
Yeah, so that's definitely a treat. So again, cask 115.18 Barley Ballet. This is a 29-year Speyside and a refill ex-bourbon barrel at 47.1% ABV. Cheers.
Cheers to that. Well, let's see what we can follow that up with, because
all right,
that was pretty yummy.
That was really good. Yeah, Adam says it's rare to see a 115. Yeah, I haven't, in the time that I've been with the society, I have not seen them, you know, very often. But that last one I did purchase was really, really good.
Let's see.
All right, so let's move on to number 2.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me make sure I poured the right one in my glass. Also, I see your Christmas tree like poking out behind your chair. Have you decorated already?
I have. If you
like
can
you
see
have a big tree up?
There's a full tree, stockings, we've got lights. I need all the Christmas spirit around me right now.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of joy and happiness.
So are you playing, like when members call and you pick up the phone, do you have to pause the Christmas music?
I do. I actually wear headphones during the day. I keep one on my ear and one off. So while I talk, I've got Christmas music playing and it keeps me happy.
So if you call and you talk to Zach and you hear Christmas music, now you know why.
Yes. No, we're having a good time while we chat.
Right. Really get into the holiday spirit.
Yes.
All right. So number 2 is 46.98 Petrichor Vindaloo. This is a 9-year Speyside from a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. And this is in our young and sprightly flavor profile.
Petrichor Vindaloo.
Yeah.
I usually see Petrichor associated with our peated line.
Mm-hmm.
I must say. So this should be interesting.
Didn't we just have another one?
I think we did.
That was Petrichor something. It's somewhere back there. It's somewhere in this hot mess of whiskey. Yeah, so I don't want to read the tasting notes because I kind of have in my head what I think just based off of the name it's going to taste like.
I need to take a look.
So I will read those after I taste it.
Well, I know what petrichor means.
I'm trying to get around. Yeah, it's like the smell, like after it rains, like the smell of like the wet earth. I love that smell. I think I never knew actually until I was on the team, you know, here at the society, what it actually meant.
Yeah.
And so now I try to use it whenever I can just to impress people. Be like, oh, you know what that smell is?
Petrichor.
Yeah.
Do you know what petrichor is?
Okay. Exactly. Yeah, I try to, you know, use it whenever I can. Okay, so what are you getting on the nose on this?
Petrichor.
No, you're stop it. I'm
actually getting a very fruity aroma.
Yeah, me too. Like bubble gum almost, like a juicy fruit bubble gum.
makes me think of like when you go to the fair and you have the like very, very fluffy blue cotton candy. And in your head, you think it smells or tastes like something, though it doesn't. That smell that you think it's going to taste like, that's what this smells like.
Yeah. It's definitely has like, it's like malty, juicy fruit gum to me.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because like if you keep your nose in the glass and you just really take your time with it, like you really get that maltiness, which is what I personally love about the whiskeys in the Young and Sprightly flavor profile. I love that malt forward character. I love being able to taste that. And you can get it if you just got to dig a little bit for it. And thank you, Rob. Putty and Petrichor was the one, and that was the last one, yeah, that we put out. Thank you.
Our spicy and sweet category, actually.
Oh, I'm excited to know what this is going to taste like.
Me too.
Like if the nose and palate are going to match, or if it's going to be completely different.
I keep digging for more, and I'm like, man, what is this going to taste like?
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Does it match?
I want to say yes, but I also want to say no. Like the way it like feels on the palate, it has a very viscous mouth feel.
I mean, my tongue is still salivating from it.
Yeah, my mouth is watering. The mouthfeel on this is really viscous, and I love that. And so I think on that first initial like sip, I wasn't like I was expecting that based off of the nose, but I also wasn't expecting that. Like this is one of those kind of like mind bending whiskeys.
I think why I'm so confused is because it does taste like juicy fruit, but it
does.
Tastes like the juicy fruit does like the first 5 seconds you have it in your mouth where all of that flavor is just like exploding and hitting all your taste buds. But then it keeps going. Like, whereas you expect it to trail off, but this finish is just lingering,
like it keeps going. But I completely agree with you on the juicy fruit thing. Like that first like few seconds you have it on your palate, it's just like crazy, just flavor, and it really does make your mouth water. I know this is really good.
Wow. This is. I've got to say, I'm not always the biggest fan of the Young and Sprightly because of like their flavors are always big and out there, but there's also higher ABV. And with my lower ABV interest recently, they take over my palate, but this does not. Like I don't feel like Dale asked if there was any spicy notes, and I mean I'd argue to say I'm not getting anything. Like there's no spice. I'm not getting a spice. It's not like lingering. It's not overpowering any of the taste buds on my tongue, on like spots of my tongue. It's very well balanced from front to back. I mean, it's very round whiskey. Yes. It's very like juicy whiskey, very viscous whiskey. And like this is literally like bottled juicy fruit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
What kind of got me into the Young and Sprightly flavor profile was a whiskey like that. I got like that pink bubble gum. What is it? Double bubble. Yeah. I believe it was a 54 that we had in the Young and Sprightly. And I tasted that one and I was just like over the moon for it. I was like, this is amazing. Like it totally just, took me for a surprise. And I mean, that's why I got into whiskey, because it surprised me so much. And so I love moments like that where you have a whiskey that really surprises you. And ever since that, and that was like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And ever since then, I've just been like jamming with these Young and Sprightlys.
I mean, I love too that I can showcase the spirit itself. It's still, I mean, you're still getting a little bit of barley on the back end. Like it's not strictly cask based. You're not only getting the cask influence. I think, sometimes whiskeys in general, when too young of a whiskey is put into a cask that's not too active, you're getting very, very heavy, spirit-based tastes and flavors. Same thing with, a whiskey that was put into a fresh or a first fill sherry cask or wine cask. You're getting a lot of cask influence. This one is not on either end of the spectrum. It sits very well, very comfortably in the middle. And it makes me keep going back for more. Like I want to keep tasting.
I do too. This is one that this is just really good. So I'm going to read the tasting notes and we'll see what they say now that we've discussed it. So this says, an unusual example of this make, notes of punchy spices, chewy earthiness, herbs, seeds, flowers, and continual delicate oiliness throughout. So that's interesting because I don't pick up any of the spice.
No.
Or like the earthiness. I mean, maybe
oily, yes. But I don't know about oily, but more or less mouth coating, if that makes sense. It's not a heavy oil, but it's coating my mouth like I would expect like one of our oily and coastal whiskeys to do.
Yeah, it has a great viscosity to it. So I definitely get that too. And I guess that earthiness, that chewy earthiness could be like that little like undertone of barley that you're getting, like that malty, maltiness. Yeah. I guess that's where we could get that chewy earthiness, but I'm not getting spices. But this is fun. Yeah. This is a fun whiskey. So again, this is 46.98 Petrichor Vindaloo, 9-year Speyside in our young and sprightly flavor profile. And this is from a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. Yeah, these have been fun. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was fun.
Because like the nose, I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, is this, you don't want to like hype yourself up to be like, oh, this is going to be, and then you taste it and you're like, oh, this is nothing like I thought it was going to be. But that one
those
definitely surprised me.
Worst experiences, though, is when you smell something and it's so wonderful. I recently had a glass of something from actually another independent bottler. Everything lined up. Favorite distillery, favorite cask type, a recharred wine cask. This thing was like 27 years old. On the nose, I literally went online to look for one to buy. I haven't even tasted it yet. I tasted it, and it tasted like I was drinking an ashtray, and not in like a good peated ashtray style. It was like gross. It was one of the most disappointing experiences. Like this, like you said, we went into it with a very big expectation in our head of this smells wonderful. We have all of these different flavors lined up. I hope I taste those, and we did. Right. And it's always a great surprise to have something like that.
Yeah, and I that is just one of I think the great things too about the societies, that you really try to take that mentality away. Because it's not good to like hype something up, anything, whether it's like a whiskey you're about to drink or a dinner like your partner's cooking for you that smells amazing, and then you taste it and you're like, what happened? I think it's pretty awesome to just try to go into these things like as like level as you possibly can. Don't get too hyped. Don't set your expectations too high. And then you can really experience it for what it is. And I love that. So Dale, you mentioned spicy because Vindaloo is a type of curry. That is too why I was thinking maybe it would be like an earthy spiciness or an earthy, like not spicy, like hot, but like a good spiced earth.
Yeah.
But it's something I at least experienced something very different, but it was a pleasant surprise because it's a good one.
Let's see. I'll give everybody kind of a sneak peek. I see David asked in the chat, can we have an Isla, please? We may or may not be showing one off after our tasting today for tomorrow. I don't want to get your hopes up for us to let them down, but it's a possibility. So.
Way to tease them, Zach. All right.
I'm interested.
Yes, you'll have to wait and see what the full outturn is like. They are not all Speysides, I will tell you that.
Yes.
All right, so number 3.
Yeah.
You ready? Is that 3 in your hand?
No.
No? So man, you're cruising. I don't even have it in my glass yet.
I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Another blue, but a different blue. I'm excited for this one.
I like blues, so I'm okay with blues.
All right, so number 3 is cask 9.179 Cleopatra's Bath Time. This is a 16-year Speyside in a first fill ex-bourbon barrel at 54.9% ABV. And when I saw this 9 come through, we had a tasting at the Barrel Thief up in Seattle. Gosh, this was almost about this time 2 years ago. And we poured a 9, one from distillery number 9, and it was just I remember it like so vividly. It was just absolutely beautiful. So Brian, who is here in the comments, he was there too. We like co-hosted this tasting, and it was just a lot of fun. So when I saw this whiskey come through, it made me think of that moment and made me miss traveling and being with people and, sharing whiskey with people. So I got a little sad.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah. But here we are. This will have to do for now. So what are you thinking?
Yeah. But I'm thinking the Juicy Oak and Vanilla is a very good place to put it. I mean, getting actually like orange chocolate or like a chocolate covered orange peel. I apologize if you can hear the dog in the background.
I'm like, who was drinking water back there?
I apologize. She hasn't been feeling well, so she's been thirsty today. But
wow, the nose on this is, oh man,
something different every time I go back. This is like exciting. I'm getting giddy for it.
Yeah, this is. Ooh, I like this. The nose on this is
it's 54.9%. Okay.
54.9. I'm getting like an essential oil, like
viscosity. I'm not even tasting it. Like, it smells thick.
Yeah, but there's like a very fragrant, like citrus peel and like frankincense kind of like essential oil quality to the nose on this, and that is pretty stellar. Ooh.
Oh, I want to go in.
I know. All right, well, here we go.
Here we go. I got absolutely no alcohol burn there. I just had a massive wave of flavors just flow off of my tongue. That was
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That
was a cool experience right there.
It's like one of those whiskeys that evolves very rapidly on the palate. So it's like changing. It was like floral, and then it got like really earthy, and then it got like kind of musty, like that kind of funk. And I was like, whoa, okay, what am I drinking here? I literally
felt that change of flavors from the front palate to the mid, breaking off to the sides, and then on the finish. I mean, it was literally like a transformational kind of deal where it's like when you taste a whiskey, it tastes like something. You add some water, it tastes a little bit different. Well, with this, you tasted it and it tasted like that from front to back.
Yeah, no need to add water. It's just evolves very rapidly on the palate.
It's magical.
Yeah. Wow. But then there's like a, hold on, I have to taste it again. There's like a I don't want to say it, but like a charred, almost like a burnt, like wood kind of finish on this. Are you getting any of that?
I'm
Like it's super subtle.
100% with you on it's like it's not like fully burnt wood, but
No.
if you're looking at a log fire, like if you're looking at a fire and the wood has just started to blacken, but it still looks fresh and
So
new.
maybe it's like toasted.
In the middle, yeah. It's like more
toasty. Yeah, there's like a toasted element.
It's so hard to put your finger on thinking about how to explain it, but it's not like a charred cask kind of overtaking the flavors or your palate or anything. It's just there weaving its way in through the flavors.
Yeah, this is like I'm having a hard time finding words to like really kind of pin this. Like I want to say that it reminds me when you walk past Anthropology, the store.
I do. I used to walk past it every day to work.
Yeah, so like it's super fragrant.
That aroma is wafting out of the store.
Yeah,
like they have
but
someone sitting there spritzing it every like 2
no,
minutes.
it's like a $70 candle and it smells amazing. I think that this is what this kind of reminds me of. It's super fragrant, but not in an off-putting way at all. And there is like a really lovely oily, like essential oily like element to this that just pairs really beautifully with that really floral, like fragrant.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. This is
really hard to put your finger on, but it's like I don't want to sound basic. Oh, this is great. No, but it's just good. Like
it is really.
I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, and I do really love that like little toasty like puff of like toasty just I don't even know what it is, like toasted wood or I don't know. I really like that little just kind of puff of that you get at the very end of that finish. Like it's like a nice little.
I think this is something like a dram that imagine yourself sitting by a fire, in a nice log cabin while there's covered in snow outside. You can sit and sip on this and it's going to warm you up. It's going to keep you nice and toasty, but it's not going to overpower your palate. It's just going to work well with the environment. This is just.
Are you going to add water to this?
I did.
You did.
I did.
I feel like it drinks so easy.
It's funny with the water. I think it drank more elegantly without the water. With the water, it kind of transitions more into a velvety kind of texture where it's dancing. There's a little bit of alcohol dancing or ethanol dancing on the palate, but it's not floating. It's not rounded. It's not overpowering anything else. I think the flavors are a little bit more round though, on top of everything else.
Yeah, that is really stellar. This is actually one of those distilleries.
Yeah.
That they have a garden. It's like a 22-acre garden behind the distillery. I think it's like Major's Garden or something that like an old Victorian garden that you can walk through behind the distillery. So I will happily have a dram of this and walk through a Victorian garden, smelling flowers outside of my house in Scotland any day of the week.
Any day.
Sign me up.
Any day.
Sign me
Just
up.
make sure I'm invited over for it because I will be right behind you with it.
Yeah, this is a really good one. So this is 9.179 Cleopatra's Bath Time. This is a 16-year Speyside in a first fill ex-bourbon barrel.
I didn't even think about
vanilla.
it, but imagine yourself sitting in a bath with this aroma just floating around you, coming out of the water.
Yeah,
that would be so relaxing.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm like kind of getting that essential oily quality to it. I think it's very soothing. It's a very soothing kind of whiskey. So yeah, well done.
This is well done. Good job, guys. This was a good one. You did a job well done.
Yeah, that one's special.
All right.
So,
well, now I got to prep myself for this next one because
the beast.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
This one's gonna make himself a well-known. I'm gonna guess.
Well, that's what we would think, but we've been very surprised with all three of these, and so I'm gonna just assume we're going to be surprised by this one as well.
I hope so. I love surprises.
All right, so the fourth one that we're going to be tasting is Cask 95.40 Food for Thought. This is a 9-year space side and a second fill ex-bourbon barrel at 66.2% ABV. And this is in our spicy and sweet flavor profile. So... well.
Wow. I'm getting a fat nose full of fruit cake. Not Christmas cake. No spices, but thick, stodgy fruit cake.
Has somebody been watching the Great British Baking Show saying words like stodgy?
But it's the best way to get across. Like, you know what fruitcake, look, you walk in and you look at this thing and it looks like there's a massive pile of dough stuffed with raisins. Like, I don't know how else to...
like dense.
It's,
like the first kind of few, like, aroma, you know, clouds that went up into my nose were almost like, I almost got like a tomato.
Okay.
A tomato jam almost. But the more I kind of sit with it, the sweeter it's becoming. Stodgy.
It's just, it's thick, it's viscous. This carries weight to it before even tasting it. I'm going to take a wild guess saying that I think it's going to be very viscous. Brian wants to know, man. We'll wait until we taste it. I don't want to jump the gun here. But it's promising.
All right.
Cheers. Let's see. Oh,
you were right.
Oh, I had like the flavor, the palate kind of just like opens up and hits the front and the sides and goes down, and then this massive shot of like tomato paste just shoots down the middle of my palate as everything else kind of flows down the sides. That was the most interesting drink I've ever had of anything before.
Yeah, that is like, I feel it above my, like on the inside of my lip.
Yeah, right here.
But that is incredibly creamy, incredibly viscous. There is a very savory note to this.
Yeah. I'll give Brian his oh man, because it's just that interesting.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting.
But I mean, I don't want to scare you. Like, this does not drink like a 66%. I mean, I would give this like 57 at the most, just because, you know, I mean, it's hot. There's heat, but it's not emanating onto all parts of your mouth. Like, it's.
Yeah, this is, and I just read the tasting notes, and I think that they are pretty spot on.
Let's hear them. Let's hear them.
So this says, we started in Italy with aromas of a spicy Hawaiian pizza in a wood-fired oven before we moved to Munich for our flavors of a typical Bavarian breakfast.
So a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, I think there's definitely like a tomato, like savory kind ofness to this, but then there's also, I was thinking like puff pastry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's like a puff pastry, like a little bit of sweetness on the tail end of this.
I can almost go along with like a beef Wellington style here, where that nice, like soft, flaky puff pastry on the outside with the very savory, like, if you get good beef Wellington, it's not chewy, but I mean, like, you're like cutting through it, and that's what I'm getting on the palate, where it's that flaky, sweet, like butteriness, and then there's a little shot through the middle of it.
Yeah. There's this really great recipe. It's essentially like a meatloaf Wellington that one of my favorite chefs, she is brilliant. I make all her stuff all the time. I could talk about food. Here we go. We're not going to go there, but it's essentially like a meatloaf that's like coated with Marmite, and then you wrap it in puff pastry and bake it in the oven. And it is so good. And this would pair like so perfectly with that.
I suggest taking another sip or two, because that has just evolved, just sitting there for even a minute. There's more of a garden savory earthiness to it on the mid palate, where I think the alcohol has shown itself a little bit more. But like these flavors are so bold and inviting. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, this is savory. This is a savory whiskey.
Yeah.
Like ratatouille, like tomato, veg, herbs. Like this is...
Man.
This is, yeah.
Let me get some water so I can drink some more.
I didn't know, like, kind of in tasting these, I think, they each really kind of offered their own element of surprise in very different ways. And, like, this is like a good hearty meal.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, too, like, after having them all now, we had all 4 Speysides, all in ex-bourbon barrels. Not a single one shared more than one note to me.
No.
I mean, they all brought their own thing to the table.
Big time.
In different ways. I mean, this one especially, we had one that I actually did a tasting for a couple months ago. It was like New York street snacks or New York street food.
Yeah.
It brought a massive savory note to the table. This one is very similar to that in what it brings. I mean, it's like that I would get like bratwurst and kielbasa and like grilled onions. This one, it's more of that gardeny, like a beef Wellington with some tomato, or like tomato paste and some like earthiness. Like it's mind blowing to think that science works like this.
This is like a good
taste like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, that you just put a bunch of natural things together and let Mother Nature kind of, have her way with it. And this is what we come up with. I think it's pretty special. And I think that this particular whiskey is like a really good, like cold weather winter whiskey, because it's like a hot, savory kind of stick to your ribs kind of meal. So
water now. Let's take this one here.
I don't want to lose that like savory,
that's why I'm curious
body to it.
Go here with water.
You have to let us know. So Tom,
I apologize, Tom.
No, I thought you were still nosing. I was going to sneak in a question there.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Tom asked how many different bottles will be available tomorrow. So there are 6 total tomorrow. And here in just a minute, they're not all Speysides. We'll let you know what the other 2 are here in just a quick second.
Neither of the other 2 are Speysides.
Yes.
But there's a pretzel. I'm getting
pretzel.
Like when you order like beer cheese pretzels and they bring that massive pretzel the size of my torso, where there's not a ton of salt on it, but those big salt crystals are on it.
Yeah.
Very fluffy and doughy. Like that's the first thing I get with water. It kept the savory note to it, but brought in more of like an airy, doughy style.
That sounds so good right now.
I'm even saying on the pretzel track, like some like brown mustard, like spicy brown mustard kind of a deal. It's definitely more of a baking style spice. Yeah. And there's no like white pepper or anything like that.
But more of those kind of savory, those more savory notes, and this being in the spicy and sweet flavor profile is interesting, because I don't find this to be, I wouldn't call this a sweet whiskey.
No, I don't think there's any sweetness in here at all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because you can find like sweetness in tomatoes and, you know,
Wow.
in like tomato based product, but that would be, I guess, where you're getting sweetness from, because I think that this is definitely more savory than sweet.
The palate definitely cut the ethanol. I think the water definitely helps this pour. I think it's cool to drink without the water, get that neat experience. But when you add the water, that ethanol disappears almost completely. That spicy brown mustard changes to more of, I don't know what the heck the mustard's called. Probably still brown mustard, but like, you know, that grainy mustard that looks like more chunky than it is just like that smooth brown. That's kind of more
it's called fancy mustard.
Fancy mustard. Boom. My water dropper here shows just how fancy I am.
Do you just save that one straw? Is that like the straw for all of your whiskey tastings?
It is my water dropper. It literally has no other use, as you can see it dropping water, for my life except water dropper. And I can't complain. It works.
It works great, yeah.
I'm saving the sea turtles.
Does it lose its viscosity? Does it lose that like really heavy oiliness with water?
So what I think it does do is it loses more of the weight while still keeping that rounded, viscous kind of oiliness to it. I mean, the flavor floats around your mouth, palate, front, back, mid, sides. I mean, like, think of tannins when you're drinking some red wine, where it's sticking to the sides of your mouth without that ethanol burn. It's just wonderful. I mean, I'm even getting like rye toast or like German brown bread. Like I
can see that. And like the aftertaste, there is like a very subtle like rye bread quality to it. I agree. Yeah. And I think this is a great name for it. Food for thought. Yeah. Like it is literally food for thought. So I think that is a perfect name for this. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So again, 95.40 food for thought, a 9-year Speyside, and a second fill ex-bourbon barrel in our spicy and sweet.
Did we read these tasting notes yet?
Yes, I did read these.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna have to check out the full tasting notes when they go online tomorrow. I'm very curious.
So, do you want to share the full outturn?
I guess they can know my secrets.
So
let's go ahead and pop that on the screen.
Yeah, we'll get that up so everybody can see what else is coming out.
Right. Let's see here.
Right. You want me to throw it up there?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Got it open here. Boom.
There we are.
Right. So we've got the 4 that we just tasted here. You got 95.4 food for thought, which is the one we just tasted. That might, is it 95.4?
It's 95.40.
I was gonna say it might have taken the 0 out. So 95.40, the 115.18. That's the first one we tasted. The 9.179 was the one we tasted right before this guy, and then the 46.98 was that unspiced Vindaloo. Other than that, we've got cask 52.35 North Meat South in a first fill PX hogshead. We have seen a couple 52s lately. I don't think I've seen one in the almost 2 years that I've been with the society until now.
We've had 2 this month.
That's exciting. And a first fill PX in a sweet, fruity, and mellow flavor profile. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Someone get me a bottle. I'm curious. And last, we're here for you.
There is your heavily peated.
Brought it for you, David, just for you. The 10.194, the Maritime Marshmallows, or Marshmallows, whatever you want to say, in the heavily peated. Again, I don't know. I've seen a heavily peated for some months, and if we have,
it's been a while.
The last one I remember is that other 10 that we had. What was it? The Devil
for facial.
Femme facial, yeah. And it is a recharred hogshead. It's a 6 years old. I believe the facial bottling was also 6 years old. But I think this is an exciting little pairing.
I would be very excited to, get my hands on one of those. Yeah, I think young Isla whiskey has been probably one of the highlights of this year for me. Just being able to taste some of those younger Isla whiskeys. I think that they're just magnificent.
I have to,
under 10 years.
Yeah, I have to kind of branch away from what my normal thing is, and I have to agree with Bart from Scotch Test Dummies for once in my life, where he has this amazing love for Isla whiskey under 10 years old. And I used to think, man, if I wanted to get smacked in the face with tar, yeah, Brian just brought Make Monnier a devil.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get smacked in the face with tar, I would just go down the street where they're paving a new road.
No.
And lay face down, and it's the same thing.
It is not.
But that Make Monnier a devil was one of the most interesting drams I've ever had in my life.
That was
hands down. So these two, even the 52, I know the 52 normally carries a nice maritime kind of texture to it. It's like in a first fill PX hogshead. These are some exciting casks. Again, that 29-year-old and light and delicate. This has been a wonderful little outturn that we've got coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. This is exciting, and I think it's really nice to have something like this that kind of kicks, starts us into December, because December is going to be
stop it.
Whoa, December. So we're gonna, ring 2020 out with a bang.
We've got Doug and Stephen here from England. Doug's from Scotland and Stephen's from England joining us in our tasting.
Well, hello. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. It's a big group here. I love this. This is fun.
So I look forward to the day that we can all be together in person and,
Scotland.
Just, nerd out over all of these whiskeys together. That will be a great day.
I daydream about the day we can all sit down at the vaults and again geek out and just chat all day long about all this wonderful whiskey.
Let's see. Joshua asked, how many bottles are we getting of each of these? Good question.
It's a great question.
I know that the 10.194, I know there is a small number of those. So be quick. And then I want to say the others, there's a pretty solid number. I don't have it in front of me.
Let's see here. We've got a pretty solid number. There is a smaller amount of the 10 dot.
The 10.
I'm guessing that was shared for multiple societies around the world to extend the cask's life to as many members as possible.
But don't be discouraged by that, because
no, by all means, we don't have 10 of them. There's definitely more than 10. But it is that, and the 52 is also right there with the 10. Is something that if you are interested in getting, I would look into getting that at the beginning of your adventure tomorrow at 1:00. As those ones probably won't sit around too long. And then the 9 and 46 are pretty comfy. I wouldn't worry about too much those. And the 115 being as old as it is, the Angels took their share. So that'll sit with a good amount of bottles as well.
And one quick thing, I know we have, I think, 10 of these left over on the website. If you are a fan of Distillery 52, this was in our main outturn for the month of November. This is 52.34, and it's just an absolute just stunner of a whiskey. I know when I let my husband taste it, he said words I can't repeat on YouTube because he loved it so much. So this one's also just a really just beautiful whiskey. So I know there's a small handful of those left on the website. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Well,
yeah.
Zach.
Hey, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was a nice way to, end a Monday workday.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So again, these are all going to go live on our website tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern time. So be logged into your accounts, ahead of time. If you have any questions, we'll be here. So feel free to send us over an email or give us a call. And we look forward to talking to many of you tomorrow.
Well, hey.
So
thanks everybody for joining us. again, like she said, if you have any questions, reach out tomorrow. We'll both be there. You guys give us a call. We do recommend ordering online. There are a very limited number of us to answer those phones. So if you feel free to give us a call. If you do not get through, do feel free to call us again. We cannot place orders from voicemails or emails. So keep calling. We'll answer as soon as possible, but we look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.
Yes. So, all right. Well, have a great evening, day, morning, afternoon, wherever in the world you all are. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Until next time. Cheers, guys.
Yes. Bye.